Hey guys, or maybe not. Are we on? Are we not on? Y'all know I never know with these live streams, so let's try now. Hi guys, maybe you just heard me rambling. Hello, welcome back to SunshinehazeCo. I'm AUJHA. This video is going to be for today's new moon in Aquarius. I have my notes. New moon in Aquarius. Okay. Um, just to jump right into it, what is a new moon? This is when we have a moon. So when we have our moon making a conjunction to the sun, and it appears as if the moon isn't in the sky. It looks like there's no moon up there. As far as the energy goes, we're talking about like new energy, feeling rejuvenated, feeling refreshed. There's also a little bit of like anxiousness associated with this moon because of the element in the air of mystery. With that being said, this is definitely a time where intuition is heightened, and like spiritual encounters and spiritual things are heightened as well. Pay attention to your dreams as well. Typically when we have new moon and full moons, we get a lot of messages in our dreams. So hi. So just to break that down, that is what a new moon is. Okay, this time around we're having it in the sign of Aquarius, which is fixed air. And so briefly speaking to fixed energy, the fixed signs always come in the middle of the seasons, and the fixed signs are all about like doing the work and moving things along. Okay, so we've got fixed air, and air energy is all about communication, perspective, and our interactions with other people. All right. I did say I haven't done my calendar yet. I went to look at the date and it still says January. So disregard that. Today's new moon is February 1st. It's Tuesday and we're having the moon in 12 degrees of Aquarius, okay? So speaking briefly to Aquarius energy, what is Aquarius? I didn't realize you could see my kitchen. I usually don't have my kitchen in view. I hope it looks clean over there. It looks fairly clean, but I got some old donuts in a disregard the donuts, okay? Aquarius energy is innovative. They're independent. Aquarius is also a very communicative sign. They're intelligent. Aquarius energy is associated with a community as well, okay? What else? Let's get another positive point for Aquarius. Aquarius is very adaptable. On the shadow side, this energy is associated with rebellion. It's associated with, being illogical, a little airheaded, and also a little detached, okay? So with that being said, what does that mean? What does this new moon mean for us? I have plant pots like right at the bottom of my feet that are literally in my way. Sorry, y'all. Okay, so what does this mean for the energy? So speaking to the overall energy, especially when we're talking about the aspects that we have coming in with this moon, we are really feeling prompted to step out of our comfort zones. And what's funny about the energy is because Aquarius is Uranus energy, we're also feeling a little uncomfortable about feeling prompted to step out of our comfort zone. So a lot of us over the course of this lunar cycle, which will last for a month, but the effects are typically a little bit stronger when you have the actual lunation for like 3 or 4 days prior and 3 or 4 days after. So a lot of us will be feeling prompted to make changes that we're not they may not necessarily be changes that we saw coming, or changes that will have us like, wow, I can't believe I really just made that change. So just be, just keep your eyes peeled for those things. I did mention that Aquarius is Uranus energy, but we also have a square to Uranus, which is, I believe, in Taurus. So that does bring in a little bit of the tension associated with the changes, okay? What do I have here? Good to explore. See where we will. I guess it's good to explore and see where we end up. There's also a trine to Venus, okay? So with that being said, especially because we've got Venus's energy, it's now direct. Venus just came out of retrograde, it just stationed direct. So there's going to be a return on the energy that you've been putting out, especially if you feel like you've been putting out energy over like the past couple of months with this retrograde energy that we've been dealing with, starting to see a return on your efforts, or starting to just feel more love coming from the people and the places and the situations that you are, closely attached to or closely involved in, all right? All right, let's get, I did want to say, because Venus is also associated with money. People talk about Venus and love all the time, but Venus is also the money planet. It is possible that for some of us, depending on how this transit activates your chart, you might get a little bit of bread. You might get an opportunity that helps bring in abundance, or you might just be given like a raise or a promotion or something, okay? So take a look at your transits, which you can, not your transits, take a look at the transits in comparison with your natal chart, and you can get an idea of if that might be happening for you, okay? Now let's get into the main point. So the first point I have here is we're going to be feeling a little restless, and I did mention this a little bit earlier at the beginning of the video. Aquarius energy is air. Aquarius likes to move. Aquarius likes to think up new things and go do new things and go learn new things. And so a lot of us are going to be tapping into this energy on different levels and different planes and different areas, feeling like we need to get out and do something different or do something or change something about our process. So we are definitely going to be looking at researching, looking things up. Some of you guys, like, say for instance, I haven't done one of my crazy analogies in a long time. Say if you are a race car enthusiast. Okay, let's use that one. Say you're like a race car enthusiast, right? And you've just been researching race cars, just researching them for the past like few years. This transit could definitely bring in a little bit of a prompting to want to go out and maybe drive a race car around. You might do some research to see, hey, is there some sort of organization that has certain race cars on deck that will let me, take it for a spin around the block. I don't know if that's a thing, but speaking to the analogy, just feeling prompted to do something different with what we're already involved in, okay? The next point that I have here is thinking up a new plan and thinking up a new perspective, which does kind of tie into what I was just saying, so I could tie those two together. So we have these plans. We just came out of Capricorn season, right? And we got all these plans put in place and we're getting ready to start really working with them and putting them forward. What you're going to realize is some of those Capricorn plans, sorry, my chair is loud. Some of those Capricorn plans that you guys put in place, they're not going to work. Not to say that they won't all work or that they're all going to be failures, but some of those plans are not going to work. This is where Aquarius energy comes in. This is why we move through these progressions. This is where Aquarius comes in and you start to come up with different ways to attack the problem at hand or to come up with a different kind of energy or a little different razzle dazzle to throw on whatever it is that you got going on in order to get you to where it is that you're trying to be if a certain effort is not working. So coming up with and tapping into those Aquarian innovative energies for new ideas towards success, okay? I've got a point here speaking about community and collab. So I did mention that Aquarius is the sign of the collective. So that's it, collaborations. Aquarius is the sign of the collective. So over the course of this next month, especially because we're like now in the winter season, moving more towards spring, especially depending on where you live, it might, and this sounds crazy even though we're in February, but toward like the end of the month and as we go into March, it'll be starting to warm up, right? So you're going to be feeling a little more social, very much so Aquarian energy. With this social energies that you're feeling, do not be surprised if you come up with some new ideas, some new like business plans, some new type of work to do with other people. Also, you might just find yourself a little bit more involved in the community. If you are like an introvert or you've been doing work by yourself for a while, this month you might find yourself stepping out a little bit more into the spotlight, working with other people, and then, seeing where it takes you. What's my next point here? I've got independence. Okay, so speaking to this independence point, and especially with this square to Uranus, there is, for some people, going to be some very swift and abrupt changes and shifts in your lives. And I do have a point speaking here specifically from old like love connections, old habits, old cords of attachment. And I'm speaking to that because we did just have Venus station direct. So with that being said, speaking to the independence point, you might be pushed into doing something by yourself or walking away from someone or putting something down that you might not have been prepared for. And what I will say is because we have this Uranian energy coming in with it and all of these two retrograde stationing direct, while you may not necessarily feel like you're ready for it, the way that you progress with it is definitely you're going to see like, oh, I see why I got to walk away from this. I see why I got to put this down. I see why I need to stop doing X, Y, and Z because there's this for me over there. This change was necessary for me to be put into these spaces, okay? All right, what's my next point? Clear head, because Mercury is now direct. This is not the Mercury retrograde video, but because we have the new moon and the new moon symbolizes like new instances, new chapters, and we have Mercury stationing direct in a couple of days after the lunation, there is this energy of a brand new clear head, a brand new clear. So like I can see clearly now, like everything makes sense. I can put all of the pieces of the puzzle together and I can now, you know, put my plan that I put together in Capricorn season in place, and actually I can see down the path and see where I'm going. So even though there's a little bit of chaotic energy associated with this Aquarius new moon, there's also a lot of clarity and also a lot of like new foundations coming in for us, okay? And again, you can go online and look up your chart and look at how the transits hit them to get an idea of like what areas of your life are going to be affected. You can do that by looking at the houses that make aspects to this moon from your chart, looking at the planets that are in these houses, planets that are the degrees. I like to look at degrees in astrology too because I incorporate numerology as well. So okay, and that's segue. That was a perfect segue. I incorporate numerology. My next point on my paper is numerology. This moon is in 12 degrees, so we've got 1 and we've got 2, and that breaks down into 3. So 1 is all about manifestation, new chapters, new beginnings, and independence. Remember, I spoke to that independent energy. 2 is all about things coming together, balance, peace, harmony. Breaking down into 3, you're planting seeds of foundation and manifestation for the things that you'd like to see come in for you. So with this Aquarian new moon energy, you guys, we are really planting seeds of manifestation as far as being solid and firm in these foundational areas of our lives. So going back to the little race car analogy, if you are the race car person and you trying to now go try out the race cars, what is happening for you over this lunar cycle, especially with this manifestation 3 energy, 1 and 2 put together, you're putting the actions that you're taking, you are, and it might be subconscious, you might not see these things actually play out for us in the physical right away, but the moves that you're making, you're putting yourself in a position to open up doors for more opportunities, okay? So that's where we get the energy of change and things coming in for us with this new moon. And that's all I got for you guys. That's all I got as far as all of the points. As far as rituals go, you guys know I don't really do like big rituals for the new moon. I just have my new moon notebook and I'll hold my Aquarius stones. I'll write in like Aquarius colors. I'll burn some Aquarius incense. And so speaking to like smells and fragrances, anything like clean and airy is what I associate with the air sign. So like this, you don't have to go out and buy this, but I'm literally thinking of a fragrance. The Body Shop has this green tea fragrance. They don't make incense, but like if you know what I am referring to, that type of scent is what I would burn for like Aquarius stuff, Aquarius rituals. For the colors, like teals and aquas and like light blues, so I got all the pens, and I don't have one of the blue ones over here, but like I'll write my intentions in my notebook in the color of the zodiac. For stones, Aquarius is aquamarine. That's what, for whatever reason, when I'm talking about Aquarius stones, that's the only one I can pull off the top of my head. So what do I have written down here? Amber, amethyst, angelite. Angelite's a good one. I like angelite. Aquamarine, garnet, indigo, aura quartz is very pretty. I like indigo aura quartz, but aura quartzes are very strong and powerful stones. So just make sure that you have an idea of the type of energetic work you're trying to do before you work with any kind of quartz stone. I'll give you guys a fun fact. So people, especially newbies to the game, they go straight for quartz, and they don't understand that quartz is an amplifier. So they might be going to do work in which they think they're healing, and they're actually just amplifying the work that needs to be done. So if you're going to work with indigo aura quartz, you need to be with any stone, you need to have intentions. But working with these quartz stones and the altered, like the chemically altered quartz aura quartz stones, you do need to make sure that you are very specific with the work and the process that you're doing, okay? I also have ruby zoistite, and then it says etc. because Google is free, y'all. Oh, did I say amber? Amber is an Aquarius stone as well. What else? I said smells, colors, stones, all the things. Because it's an air sign, I'll do a lot with like smudging. So anything that I want to cleanse, I'll probably smudge it. And as far as your new moon intentions go, you're going to want to write speaking to the energies of everything I just talked about in this video. And because it is the new moon, this is when you want to manifest the new thing. So I want, I have, I can, I do, I am. And you want to speak as if these things are already happening, they're already in existence. I suggest going to look back at your new moon intentions when we come up on the full moon, because at that point you're kind of halfway through that cycle and you can see the progress that you've made so that you know what to do over the course of the next 6 months. So by the time we cycle back around to the new moon, you've made your accomplishments. Okay. All right. That's it. To wrap this on up, Aquarius new moon, getting into a groove with clarity, and we've got that Venus, that Venusian and Uranian influence with those aspects, so really prompting us to step out of our comfort zones to create the lives that we want to be living, okay? The people that are going to be the most affected are people with Aquarius moon placements, especially in 12 degrees. Anybody with that placement within the orb of that, which is typically 6 or 7 degrees, but the way that I interpret charts, the effect is a little bit more intense. I say within 3 or 4 degrees. People with a lot of fixed energy, Aquarian, air energy, or 12-degree placements in your chart, or anywhere you see these placements in your chart, you can kind of get an idea of how this new moon is going to be affecting you, okay? And that's all I got for you guys. When I put the description up in here, which I will do in a few minutes, check out the retrograde series because we did just have 2 planets stationed direct, Venus and Mercury. And then February, we don't have other planets in retrograde, if I am thinking or remembering correctly. So this is a good month to really get things done or really start new projects, okay? What else? If you want a retrograde reading, especially now that the planet is direct, to get an idea of like what type of energies you were supposed to take from the retrograde and apply to your life now, book one with me. I'll put that link in the description box too. I have the 2022 tarot playlist up. Love readings will be available and they will be linked in all of the general readings because they will not be on YouTube, but I will put posts up so that you can figure out how to access them, okay? And that's it. That's all I got. That's it. My notes are done. Thank you guys for tuning in. Happy new moon. And I will catch y'all next time.